Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Judah Reigns. Normally, I pray before I record one of these audios, but today, because my heart is so heavy, I'm just going to record for it first and pray afterwards. I think that is the most appropriate thing today. I also meditate, but I'm not going to meditate until after I record this because where I am right now is so very raw. And like so many Americans, especially Black women who have been thrown out of the economic marketplace in droves, um, we are suffering whether or not we're still working or if we are not working, if we have a family or if we are alone. And as well as Black men as well. But because of the construct of this wicked world that Satan has built with his children and his anointed ones, we are made to suffer the worst and so egregiously. And so I'm here just to kind of talk about the troubles that I have been experiencing. And I will stipulate that I know this is not a punishment from the Most High God. My ancestors, our ancestors, have paid for that long ago. We are operating under a demonic system that is closing, and I gotta hand it to it. It's not closing without a fight, but it is closing. And although we're not new to this, the continuance of it for so long in human years and in human perception reality, it has been beyond ages. It has been beyond the pale of reasonableness for a people to suffer and for Black women in particular to suffer. We have had the hardest hit of so many. Remember, even with our sons, we are, for every son that is injured, a mother is injured right along with him or her. One time I heard a Black woman who lost her son to gun violence that said, "It is as if a part of me has been unalived." And not to say that the grief of the father who at that time he didn't even show up to the son's funeral, by the way. He was notified, but he didn't even show up. But the father, those who are good fathers and good Black men who have, against the odds, taken care of their families, they're with the Black woman and Black children. I salute you. And of course, the loss of your child would hurt singularly for you, but it is something that you experience outside of your body because you have not carried that child into the world and given birth to that child. You were a part of that, yes, but there is something, a wailing that women do that has not been repeated by the male species, male part of the species. There is a certain loss that goes with being the one that was chosen by the Most High to bring the offspring in. And so, where for a man who's logical in their perception and thinking, a woman comes from an emotional state. And of course, in this satanic world and the way that the Satan and his children have gone at the woman, and in particularly the Black woman, but he has gone after all women, but singularly Black women. The way that has damaged us and the way that it has been unabated, no other species on this planet has had to experience. And so I say that I'm in a moment of time where I'm having to deal with difficulties of a nature that is pretty peculiar. And I understand that it is due to these times that I'm not the only one. I think that many of who are chosen, and indeed even the chosen people, are being um, pressed upon in a peculiar, strange way that we are. In other words, the things that are happening to me personally is threatening my very safety and my safety, my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And that, although I've faced many, many troubles, I have not had to face them all at the same time of what I just spoke about. And strangely, it's almost like a tug of war. I get a hit or a blast from what ethers in this world. And then then at the 11th hour, I've been getting like a stay of execution, so to speak. And from what I can sense and what I can see, that is the angels or the Most High using the angels to help me out just a little bit, just a little bit. And it's been like yo-yo. I'm caught in the middle of it. And so I'm exhausted now. And I'm having to do a lot of footwork, and it's an uphill climb, and the uphill has rocks being thrown down on it, and I'm largely having to face this alone. I think that also too, perhaps something illegal. I know something illegal has happened to me more than once. And that illegal process, and I'm talking about the law, that has happened against me has been largely successful until it's not. Now, of course, I always, my reliance is on the Most High because it can't be on anybody else at this point in time. And so it is on the Most High, but unlike a spouse or a mate or children or siblings or whatnot, but not even siblings, because they can only do so much. They have their own lives to live. But I'm talking about where you would have a family that you can lean on. At this point, I think that is strained right now, because everything is so tight that even families, I believe, in America, Black families are having a hard time sustaining the help between one another. And also, too, we've been through so much of people who are not like us in every community, immigrant and citizen born, that we have had so many people work together in unison to tear us apart. That I think that the ties that used to bind have been totally cut right now. And so it is every man for himself. If you do have a small family, then and you're Black and you have a spouse, someone in your corner, or you have children of age, you are a very lucky person. You're a very lucky person to be able to live in a time where you can have that and where the Most High could provide that for you. But there are some that make up Christ's kingdom that were not afforded those things. I'm one of those people. And I know I'm not the only one, that there are others of us out there that that in due course we would, I would not have been alone, and I would not have been without a husband or without children. But I was told, I was warned by an anointed person that is also a part of Christ's kingdom, who said that she believed or sensed that there was like a barrier or a hedge, a protective hedge around me. And that probably isn't, she recognized in her old age, and by the way, she is silent gen, she's silent generation. So she's seen pretty much everything. She has like 100 years, or damn near, under her belt. That she warned me that she sensed that the Most High has made it that way. Because she reckoned that there's no reason why. And then one thing she said, she goes, are there any of them out there any good? She was like, there's probably the person that I'm meant to be with is also going through his metamorphosis and his change, right? And we are both being prepared for one another so that we don't have to deal with the craziness that this world offers people who are in relationship with another. Now, is that to say that that, as far as my standpoint is, that marriages, that there aren't any good marriage? I'm hopeful that there's still. At the time that I was told this by this anointed one, she says, "Are there any any good ones out there?" And I just kind of looked at her stunned. And she said this on more than one occasion, and even that because of the evilness that pervades this world through and through, that there may be a lot of people in marriages that live in illusions and that they have convinced themselves that they have something good. But what is binding them together is one of selfishness and self-servingness. And that what might have been an example of a good marriage and a good family no longer exists, and that was removed from this planet long ago. And I would say probably at the advent of the European coming here to this land to commandeer it, with the help of Satan, because Satan had made them his viceroys over this part of the planet, because of the last world that he was allowed to take dominion over. And so I said all of that wonderfulness to say that it is no surprise that a person like myself would be constantly having to be in conflict with these invisible and visible beings. I will say that I can see the Most High's hand and in keeping me safe, in keeping me housed, in keeping me fed. I've also done the footwork and on Monday I will be doing another footwork. Well, right today I'm going to be doing another footwork again, and on Monday I will do another footwork. But it is exhausting. I'm not in my 20s anymore where I can just get up and go. I've always had to deal with this, the things of which is another thing that this woman, this anointed woman, black woman, told me. She says that they will never leave you alone. She told me, she said, the demons will never leave you alone. They will always try to disrupt your life. And that woman has never lied. Her words have rang true all day long. All day long. And she said that the point is to get you to renounce and to get you to disbelieve what you have been given. And damn that, I will never do that. I would never do that. Yeah, never. It is the only thing that's keeping me sane. It's the only thing that's keeping me right size. It's the only thing that gives me hope. It's the only thing that lets me know that this is not all there is. It has given me so much clarity about what is unfolding. And so, F the demons, F Satan, and F his children, his human children that have set up such a wicked world. My prayer fervently is that the kingdom of Christ comes online like today, present in reality right now to stop the madness that everybody is going in. I mean, right now, oh my goodness, everything is jacked up, and the food, when you go into the store, the food, you know that the prices are high, and all of the poisons that they're putting into the food right now. And even now with the alerts, with the alert that is going out about a parasite that's on the lettuce and tomatoes, now you can't even get that. And then you hear about the ticks that are going around to the farms, so that even if you go to a farmer's market, you might end up being bitten by a tick that has whatever type of, nanite or whatnot in it, from corporations that absolutely are antagonistic to the human family. I don't even know if these people are completely human. And so, of course, it's their last blast, of course, but my goodness, they are leaving no stone unturned. The very air that we breathe is poisonous. And I am crying out to the Most High right now, asking the one that does the battling, and I believe that's part of the male one, that one that's called Yahweh, Jehovah, the one that people, the most high God. Could be the female one, could be the female deity too, whichever one. But I'm appealing to that one to open up a can of whoop ass. I mean, what else could be waiting? They be waiting for. I can't imagine. And if so, how much longer? Because even the very elect are being affected to a degree where it's very difficult for us to even sustain ourselves. And the way that I see it um, is that the kingdom administration will have pretty much all ages represented, aside from children, but all adult ages represented. You know, you got your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, all the way into your 80s and your 90s. So a 100-year span where there will be representation of those administrators, so that male and female, by the way, so that everybody will have a person that will be able to relate to them throughout that administration. But for, I don't know how many of us, it doesn't mean not all of us, but a portion of us, we are still getting our asses handed to us. And I suspect that even all of us are, because even even the old heads, even if they live like in a senior citizen community, they're still getting pestered with. You know, some they have to deal with old racist white men and white women. They have to deal with all kinds of other things. If they have children or grandchildren, they got to deal with what's going on with them. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot that we're having to contend with. And I'm asking for the Most High to put a stop with it and offer abundance and blessings. Now, if he or she or they, probably I would just go with they, if they are not going to do anything for 2026, or for today, actually, then if they can just give us a little bit of breath and room where we're not always struggling with whatever we're struggling with, and whatever area of human activity, because for some of us it's financial, like myself. For some of us it is for others it is through their education. Some, and if they're in the educational system, they're facing that. Entertainment, those, we know a lot about that, a lot about what many descendants of American slaves are being made to do in order to be in the entertainment industry. And it is horrific. Those that are of us that are having to deal with labor, going into work, out of work, when you're there, all of that comes in. The law and politics, we're all, male and female, we're all having to deal with that for whether or not you're incarcerated or if you're not, or if you've been released but you're being pestered by your probation officer, or you're always in a situation where you have to contend with either you're going to stay out or you're going to go back in, whether you're being in religion and you've come out of religion and you've lost a lot of people that in religion that you were friends with or you knew, or even your family, if you're having to come out of that, whether or not you're dealing with any type of a defect of your character still. We're not perfect, whether that be in sexual relationships, whether that be if you were in armed forces, and or if you were part of the, excuse me, if you were part of the military arm of this wicked system, and you know the things that you have done, what was probably was criminal, right? And you're looking for salvation, and you're looking to produce justice. I pray that the Most High will lead you to where you need to be, and will lead you to the ones, will lead you to me, will lead you to all the others, and to do what is necessary to gather us all together in New Jerusalem. And so that's my prayer for today, and that's my thought. I normally don't do this, but I'll post my Cash App. It is Cash App Judah Reigns 74, and I'll post that in the description box. If you feel in your heart to donate, please do. It will support the channel or support my work, and I pray that the Most High will notice that if you decide to do that, and leave behind a bigger blessing for you. Thank you for listening.